I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Nan Weitzman, and I lead Global Talent Acquisition for HP. And I'm thrilled to be here. We have a long-standing partnership and relationship with San Jose State University. And it's my great pleasure to also be joined today by two folks from HP that you'll get a chance to hear from. First and foremost, we've got Santi Moreira, who is our General Manager and our Global Head of Home Printing Solutions. We also have Martin Stier. He's our Global Head of Human Resources for both our print and marketing businesses. So you'll get a chance to ask them some questions. We'll be doing a panel discussion. But first and foremost, I do want to take you through a little bit about HP. There's been some big changes that have happened, and I want to tell you about who we are today and where we're heading. Santi is going to tell us a bit more about his business and the cool innovation and products that are released in the market today, some things I think you'll be very interested in. And if you pay attention and ask some questions, there may be a little bit of a raffle at the end. In addition to that, we'll do a panel discussion. We've got some questions teed up for Santi and Martin, and as well, we want to get this group engaged and have you guys ask questions. Because most importantly, it's about you. It's about you learning about our organization and also having an opportunity to ask questions about technology. I think from majority of you are probably in the School of Engineering, so from a sign of hands, can you tell me if you're in engineering? Okay, it looks like almost the entire room. Okay. How about the opposite? If you're not, raise your hand. That's good too. Okay. We hire across all disciplines. We have lots of opportunities. Just wanted to know the audience. Now, from a show of hands, how many are you here getting a master's versus an undergrad? Can you raise your hands? Okay. So some of the room as well. Just want to get an idea of who we've got in the room and whether you're an undergrad or graduate. So it's very important that we have an opportunity to share with you about HP and our products, our innovation, and where we're heading. But in order for me to kind of set the baseline, it would help to understand when I say HP, what do you think of? And if someone wants to maybe raise their hand or, okay, right there in the back, what do you think of? Laptops, sure, good. There you go, perfect. Couldn't have teed that up better, okay. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, so second question. There was something big that changed with HP in the last year. Your hand went up, so did you go up there? Do you know what that is? You're spot on, so that's what I wanted to talk about. So just a year ago, we separated HP into two independent companies, HP Inc. and Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. So think about it this way. We took a 300,000 person company, $100 billion company, split it in two, and keep in mind the background of HP. HP is really considered the first startup to be done in a garage in Palo Alto, still a historical landmark, by Bill Hewlett and Dave Packard, who were engineering students themselves. And so a year ago, HP reinvented itself, and we're really excited about the transformation. We split for multiple reasons, but the most core reason was for us to be more nimble and quick and be more highly focused on the products and services we delivered. And we can say, fast forward to this year, this has worked and has been a great success. We're reinventing print, we're reinventing personal systems and solutions to help transform industries. So it's a huge, huge push for us to be able to be focused. We're investing in research and development to really provide great creativity and innovation to help the world and to help all of you. So today, we're about 50,000 employees, about a $52 billion company, operating in 170 countries. So the other piece that's really interesting about our organization, so representing HP Inc., is we do have that, what we consider to be that energy and heart of what you consider to be in a startup. But the great news is we've got the brain and muscle of a global Fortune 100 company. A lot of people will say that we've got quite a bit of an entrepreneurial spirit at HP, very much what you see in the startup organization, and we've got a lot of talent that are driving some of the most cool, relevant, innovative technology of the future. And we'll get a chance to hear Santi and hear more about some of those products. So what does our future look like? I think we all know that when you look at kind of our physical and digital worlds, they're merging, right? They're coming together. When you look at software and hardware, they're blending. And when you think about blended reality, it's going to connect people, places, and things around us with digital services that allow us to compute, analyze, and communicate. Now, today I'm not going to have time to go through all of the different areas that we're focused in, but I am going to just kind of highlight a few. So this year, we have launched our Multi-Jet Fusion 3D printer, and also we have in an enterprise Sprout Computing, thinking about taking the reality of the digital and the physical together. 3D, taking digital and making it physical. Sprout Computing, if you haven't seen some of our Sprout technology, it's taking some of the physical into the digital. So really cool technology that's going to set the bar for today and for tomorrow. You also see some of the other work that's happening with hypermobility, right? So how are we bringing technology to life with wearables, right? And eventually, what are we going to be doing with that to embed that within our bodies? So there's a whole host of things. You see on there another area, so microfluidics, with the work that we do in print, how we're changing work with medical applications. And the list goes on, but this is just a snapshot of some of the things we're doing today to prepare us for tomorrow. And then, of course, it's very important that HP is always committed to sustainability. But we're not just committed to conserving natural resources and making the environment better. We really want to help change the lives of how people work and live. And that is key and very important to us. We are good corporate responsible citizens with sustainability, but driving our technology to make a better world, a better life for everyone is what is key to our transformation and what we want to deliver in the future. So don't just ask me. We can ask the 1,000 interns that we brought in this year and the 800 undergrad and graduates that we hired. We poll them on an annual basis and want to find out why HP. These are just some of the comments. They're a little hard to see at the bottom, but meaningful, freedom, mentors, learning, people, what they've learned, what they've seen from their time with HP. And of course, just to put a little plug in for those of you that are interested in internships or permanent positions, the opportunity to work in an environment where you'll work on meaningful, innovative type of assignments with world-renowned leaders in some of the neatest, coolest technology that's out there. Whether it's 3D, I think Santi's going to show some of the products that they're doing in print that will be absolutely, I think, game-changing for some of you you may not have seen before. And then, of course, it's our ability to have individuals come in and really network and get to know other talent. We do a lot of fun activities. I have one of our intern site leader who's here for Palo Alto today. We do a lot of fun activities to engage and inspire. And you also get an opportunity to do cool challenges to show your technical innovation or your business innovation. So it's a great place for you to start a career. And we're happy to talk with you further about that. So just want to remind you, here's our career site. Please follow us on our different social media channels. And with that, I am going to hand it over to Santi, who's going to talk to us about print.
Okay, good. Thank you, Nan. And okay, I'm Santi. Santiago, long name. Okay. How are you? And as Nan said, I'm leading the home printing solutions for HP. So before I start about print, how many of you print? All of you. How many of you print at home? Okay, that's pretty good. So my challenge at the end of the session today, I would like to see many more hands after what we're going to show today, okay? But you know, HP, as Anand said, so the new HP, fundamentally, we have two very important businesses we have created over the years, two franchises. First one about printing. It's been since we invented inkjet printing for the industry. We brought LaserJet, so we've been the ones pioneering printing, making printing affordable and available to everyone in the world, and that's why we are number one or number two, depending on the country, but fundamentally we are the industry leaders. The same thing on PCs over the years. But that's not enough. We know that printing is under challenge in many environments. Many of you that are printing, maybe if you would have asked, were you printing more 2 years ago, 3 years ago, probably the answer would have been yes. We print less and less because we have competition today with our screens. So our challenge is how to reinvent print, and I'm going to show some of the ideas that we have to reinvent print. But before I go do this, let me show you a video. Okay, so maybe you've seen some images in the video that probably you would not have associated with HP on printing. When people talk about printing, sometimes they think about printing on an office printer or printing at home, but printing is much more than this. Let me start with graphics on the right side. Graphics, there is a huge opportunity for the company to really transform how graphics are done in the industry. If I show you maybe an example today, maybe you recognize like a Coke bottle, and you've seen maybe this one, this special label here, or this wrapping package. This one is unique. You'll not find any other Coke bottle in the world like this one. And that's only possible when you use digital printing to personalize every single packaging or every single document for you. And that's possible because we use not analog printing, we use digital printing. We've done this in many industries, in the industry of creating books, in the industry creating mail, and now we want to transform other industries like packaging. As an example, let me show you an example. Another one. Maybe you wouldn't recognize this. That's an Oreo box, right? What's different for this, you can order online your Oreo cookies box, and you can personalize for you as a gift. That's possible today because today digital printing make affordable, accessible to have targeted marketing, personalized marketing. So huge opportunity for us. Another one, packaged goods you may see. When you buy, you may go and you can see that each of these packages is different. The picture you can see here, the QR code may send you to your special message, targeted to a country, a city, or even a special zip code when you want to target. So that's possible today because we have digital printing available in the industry. So that's one of the most important opportunities for HP. If you look at printing, it's big. When you look at packaging today, it's one of probably the most important industries. Is the one that is not getting transformed by online. At the end of the day, even if you order online, you'll get a package. So how can you use digital printing to personalize that package for you? It's a huge opportunity. And that's our role in the graphics part. On the office, maybe when I ask you about printers, you think about HP, many of you. If I ask you about copiers, maybe you would have in mind different companies. Ricoh, or Canon, or Konica, or Xerox. So HP has been very, very strong selling printers over the last 20 years, but there is something called copiers, the one we had shared in offices where we have not participated. So I think there is a blending in the market between printers and copiers, and I think HP is going to be in the best position to really integrate these two worlds. And we are doing this with technology we are bringing on our labs. You may have heard about page-wide technologies. It's a new technology to bring speed and cost and color affordable, but we've done this too in some cases, by acquiring companies. We just announced a couple of weeks ago our intent to acquire the printing business from Samsung. That's public now, and that's a way for HP to really enter into a huge market that we have not participated in the past. So great opportunity to bring technology, innovation that we've done on printers into the copiers world. That's the second part of our business. And final, the one that I'm leading, that is about home printing. Home printing has been under challenge for many, many years for different reasons. When we ask you and customers why don't print much at home, sometimes they tell us because it's, I have other options. I can look at this in my screen, or it's not affordable, or at the end of the day, it's not convenient to buy supplies. So our challenge is to reignite, reinvent that category. So one of the issues we have had in that industry, and HP as a leader, is like all of you use mobile devices like this one to really to work, to socialize. And today, printing doesn't work well in some cases with those devices. So our job really is to bring new technologies that really make printing much easier from your mobile devices to your printers. So let me show you a video.
Introducing the world's smallest all-in-one, the colorful HP DeskJet 3700 series, featuring HP Scroll Scan and wireless printing from your laptop, phone, or tablet.
Okay. Cool printer, right? So I guess many people do not associate printers with designs like this. We've seen people hiding their printer at home. They feel like kind of ashamed to show the printer. It's an ugly thing. They put it under a drawer. I think our intent is to reinvent home printing by doing, I would say, 4 things. The first one is bringing cool designs with colors and interesting for people, not something to hide, making them much smaller in size. That's very important. More important than this probably is to make them work with your mobile devices, that you can set them up very easily using your mobile device. Today, you need to set up sometimes using your PC. That's not convenient. You cannot print. So how to set up using a print app, what we call this all-in-one print app. You can set up your printer from the mobile device, but after you can manage everything you may do from that application. You can scan if you want. You can use it. Why you need to scan in the printer? Today, our scan is in our mobile phone. So we know that we need to reinvent the way people use our mobile phones with our printers in order to really grow that category. But finally, we know too that it's costly. For many of you say, wow, it's very costly to buy cartridges. When I need the cartridges, they are not available. I need to go and buy them. So we just introduced a service in a few countries, in the US in particular, called Instant Ink. Any of you have heard about Instant Ink? One, okay, great. Can you tell the rest what it is? Right, so you said right. So at the end, to take the hassle out of buying supplies, You pay like $3 a month, and you get the right to print 50 pages, and you forget about buying supplies. You get the supplies at home, the printer is smart, and they understand when you are about to need more supplies, so they send directly, and you don't need to pay any supply. $3 a month, 50 pages, 100 pages, $5. It depends on the price of how many volume you want to print, but that's the way. So if we have cool designs, work for the mobile, print great photos, it's affordable, it's convenient, we think we have a great chance to reignite, and we've had great success in the last 4 or 5 months since we introduced this new category of products. But we know that that's not enough. Many of you are saying, when I want to print, it's not when I'm back home to print my homework. Sometimes I want to print my photos, so we need to bring new categories. So let me show you what we are bringing in the market. Okay, so that's Sprocket. That's the new printer. So we learned talking to people like you that at the end of the day, when you want to print, is when you are with friends, when you are in a party, and it's not something you want to do when you come back at home. So what we came up with that concept called Sprocket, that it's now in market, being sold in Amazon, HP Store, and if you have maybe some luck or some great question, you'll get one here today. So that's Sprocket, that's the printer. So what you do is just, you use that with an app like this. You just have like a download Sprocket, you take a picture, and in seconds you can get it printed in a device like this. You can bring it in your pocket, that's what we call it, Sprocket, and very convenient, $129, and really a category that's exploding. In the past, we used products coming from the Polaroid, the printer with a camera, and now with those devices, we think we're going to keep growing and really exploding that category. Okay, so great opportunity to grow with print. So let me close. If I have here. Let me close maybe the talk about print, about the opportunities. When you look at print from HP, you will need to think about printing graphics, bringing innovation into graphics, and that means it means signage, it means labels, it means packaging, it means books. That's printed, and many of the signs you'll see around are printed with HP technology. HP printing means office printing. It means printers in the office. It means printers in copiers, and how we can blend these new technologies together. And finally, consumer printing. Our view of the world is that you want to print when you are at home. You want to print your homework, your pictures, your work. But when you are around, having a printer accessible for your photos is a great opportunity. And finally, print on public places. I'm not sure if in this university you have it, but in many campuses now we have print kiosk. When you need to print, you just go with your mobile device, you download, and you print on the time. So finally, it's making printing accessible using mobile devices as a center. And that's where our innovation is going on in our labs in the US, that we'll talk in a second, is to bring that technology to make printing reignite for us, okay? So with this, I think we'll go into some sort of an open discussion and waiting to get your questions.
I'll turn this back on. I'll invite Martine up to the stage as well. We're just going to change the lighting so you can see us a little better. So, does that work a little bit better? We okay? Okay. Okay, so what I thought I would do, this is a reminder. I introduced Martine earlier. So he's the global head of HR for our print and marketing business. Obviously, we just heard from Santi, who shared with us about some of the cool and innovative things that we're doing in print today. This is also your opportunity to ask questions, but I thought that I would tee up a few questions for them and hopefully to get some of you, I think there's a mic in the room too, if people want to kind of raise their hand and ask questions. But Santi, just kind of looking at the work that you're doing and the type of innovation for this group here is, what kind of skills do you look for? What kind of things do you look for in talent that would be a match in your organization?
I would say we have, HP has a long history on innovation, and we have, I would say, great research development teams. And I think we are well covered in many of the areas where we've been successful in the past, bringing print head technology, ink technology together to print. The areas where we're investing the more is what I just showed. These are how to connect today mobile devices to printers, how to make easy. So a lot of, on the software side, we're investing a lot. On designs, is it something maybe we didn't pay attention in the past, how to put great designs in our products? Another is we look for engineering for product management, how to create new concepts, new innovation. I would say these are the three areas where we are investing the most. It's like on customer experience. If you look at my research teams in the past, we had, I would say, our plans based on which features in the products. Now we talk about which customer experiences we are bringing, how to make it easy to connect the printer. Today, if you are using an Android device to print, sometimes you need to make 10 steps to print, a plug-in. And at the end, you give up sometimes, except you need to do it because you are now studying, you need to have certain things. But for people that need to do 10 steps to print just for fun, people give up. And that's something that is back to us as an industry, and you guys, people like you, of innovation, of how to make these things much, much easier. So experience and software is a very element of it. Of course, there's a lot of technology that need to go within the printer, but designs and fundamentally innovation on product management.
Great. Martin, do you want to, anything you'd like to add?
I wanted to, if you think about the evolution, we've been moving, Santi, over the years, focusing on the cost and the reliability on the printer. And recently, we've been moving more on the customer experience and the connectivity and how people are connecting and engaging with the unit. Of course, the cost and how do we engineer our product and the technology that we put in our printer's head so that the quality of our product is the best, that will continue to evolve and it will continue to be the north. But I think that we've been looking at ways to embrace other specialties so that we can differentiate our products in the market from the competitors that are trying to copy our products.
And maybe let me complement. And it's not only to put software. To make that the smallest printer in the world requires a lot of engineering to make everything compact in a small way, right? So it's not only about experience as a way to do it through software investment. Sometimes it's to put basic mechanical electronics engineering to make something used to be that big now to make it small. So making great experience is not against making it cost and small and efficient, so we are investing on both.
Great, thank you. As we saw, the presentation had a little bit of a ghost in it, and it was going back and forth, so I just went ahead and turned it off. So maybe a question, Santi, for you is, you talked a lot about print and the innovation that's happening. Where do you see print heading? Where do you see the future of print?
I think I tried to answer through my presentation. When I look at print, I think it's been one of these kind of statements done many years, like print is dead and print is decreasing, and actually there is no fact. These days that these fact checkers are going on in the US for different reasons. I think someone should fact check this statement about printing is dead. Actually, when you look at the amount of print going on, it's still growing. Sometimes it's not growing in certain applications, in home, in a geography, but when you look at worldwide, the amount of printed material is growing. So the way we look at print, as I said before, is not only thinking about printing as a kind of in letter size A4 device at home. Printing for us is a building wall coverage, a building wrap. A vehicle wrap You may not think about it. When you look at these vehicles with advertising, that's done with HP technology. That is a very special ink with a very special interaction with the media that you can use now to really do this vehicle wrap. When you look at, you name it, everything you see in your life, since you wake up in the morning and if you take your cereal, probably is built now on digital. Why? Because the old analog printing, these big offset presses, it requires lower cost, it's true, but millions and millions to make it efficient. Today, digital allows to do this at a very good cost, but personalized. And for industries like, wine or cosmetics, that they have a lot of references, everything is becoming digital. It's a huge opportunity. So there's a lot of growth. Look at packaging. Packaging today is a way to advertise. When you go out and you go into shopping, you'll see that many of the advertising today is done by the way you see the package. That package that you see now in wide, nice advertising cannot be there for 2 years with the same design. It may change every week if we want. It can customize the packaging for the Bay Area. It doesn't need to be the same one we're going to put in the Northwest. And we do that way. Or that campaign of Share a Coke, it was created with a digital printing view. We can personalize for each of you, or I think if you are, I think it's Carlsberg or Heineken, one of the two, that you can order online your personalized beer with your own label. So that's creating value for customers, value for the industry. Finally, the challenge, as I said, is on home. Home because of cost, because the transition from desktop devices to mobile, I think we missed a bit. But I believe by bringing that innovation back, cool designs, portable designs like this, portable printers, I think we have a great chance to grow and get that industry moving as we've done for the last 20 years. I'm very excited.
So just adding, you mentioned about packaging, traditional, the digital, the analog to digital in the traditional printing, we also are looking at labeling. We are also looking at textile and even fluids, right? So if you think about the digital technology you can apply into a printer head, and you can think about any material, right? And how do you print? And how do you make sure that whatever you print on any material can be sustainable over time? So that's where, if I would be sitting as part of the audience, I would be thinking, okay, how can I apply all the things that I'm learning, all my engineering capabilities? How would I be creative, innovative in thinking what else can be created with the technology that HP has built over time? And I was asking these folks in the second row, not going to give their names, I didn't ask the name, but I was asking about what PC they were using, right? And they were saying, well, we have Apple, but we also have Surface, or we also have iPad, right? If you think about what Santi mentioned a couple of minutes ago, he said, well, we've seen that there has been an evolution, right, in the printing, as we have seen in the PC business, where many of you may remember a couple of years ago, somebody said, well, the notebooks are dead. Nobody's going to buy notebooks anymore. Today, what happens is we buy notebooks for a specific need. We also buy iPads or Surface or tablets, right? We call them Elite. Elite X2. We buy these type of products for specific needs that we have. Think about printing in a similar way. We may have a sprocket for our instant mobile printing experiences. We may have a printer at home. There may be other type of printing, not even thinking about the office or the graphics, which you may think of an enterprise that would buy this type of equipment. There are some of these. So if you think about the personalization that Coke did, you are looking at machines that presses that may cost $2-3 million. That might not be of consumption for you as consumer home printers. But think about the evolution that is happening and how new categories and new ways of applying that same technology in different materials will transform the printing world.
Maybe I'll stop here, but I think, and maybe if I would to say the most exciting thing going on now in HP is the ultimate printing, that is 3D printing. And a few years ago, out of our innovation coming out of printers, so we came up with technology to really disrupt, I would say, an industry that is probably the biggest in the world, that is the multi-trillion industry of manufacturing with 3D printers. And HP, we just announced, as we speak, last week, the first shipments of our products with multi-function technology, multi-jet. And it's a great technology that will disrupt that industry. And that's been done by labs within the company, right? Both in Europe, in Barcelona, and in Portland, in the Northwest here. And that's a huge, huge opportunity coming out of HP. Coming, again, from innovation from a few engineers that I had the pleasure to work with them when we invented this 5-6 years ago. They started to come up with these concepts, and now that's becoming an industry that will disrupt the way we do manufacturing. It's disrupting the way we do prototypes today, and I'm sure you are using a lot of 3D here in the university. And with our technology, we think we're going to disrupt fundamentally in the next years the way people manufacture products, and that's coming out of our company too.
Great, thank you. So think of your questions. I've got another question, and I think, as you guys know, and we had talked about, technology is moving at the speed of light. And so I think for Martin and Santi, one of the questions I would ask is, if you were to go back to school, I think a majority of the group here was undergrad, and we had a few folks that are graduate students. If you were to go back and tell your younger self or earlier career self some advice, what would that be? Maybe Martin, I'd start with you.
Yeah, so what would I advise myself? First of all, I would take any opportunity in summer to take an internship. I would not waste my time in anything else but experiencing and applying what I'm learning into a work environment. I would definitely go there. I would definitely be looking at different experiences that can actually help me learn new things that I may not be exposed. I would definitely say yes to many opportunities that eventually were kind of sounded too challenging, and eventually I didn't know what the project was expecting from me, but I would rely more on what I could bring more from the creativity and in innovative thinking to apply it in that working environment.
Great. And Santi?
Wow, so I've been 20-something years in the same company, so I'm probably not a great example for some of the things probably I would do now when I look at with time, right? But I was able to do in my company maybe what I'm going to say. That is, I think that balance between looking for what I call like a mastery on something, knowing something very good, but at the same time be very open-minded and be a generalist. I think that combination is the one that when I look back my career and when I left the school, what I would have done probably even more was that balance always. Be very good at something, because all of us at the end need to be good at something well known, but at the same time, be more open and probably more open-minded to be doing changes sooner than what I did, right? And I think that balance is the one at the end of the day. I mean, today, it was in my time, it will be in yours. You are global citizens, and you know it, I don't need to tell you. And the way to do global citizenship is by practicing, right? And know about a lot about something, but a little about everything. And that's the one that's gonna give you value personally and professionally about being flexible, right? So when I go back, I would say, try something, try hard, but the day you feel you are not learning or you aren't developed, time to move. Time to move. And I think you do it. I think this generation do it much better than my generation for sure. But that's something I would have done much more aggressively. Don't stay a minute on something I don't think I'm learning, I'm not growing, I'm not contributing, move on. And probably my career would have been shortened in a way, right? To speed up every single step. That may be my biggest thing when I go back.
Great, great, thank you. So I've got a question for Martine. I talked a little bit before about the 1,000 interns we had in this year, and also about 800 undergrad and graduate hires that we've made. I thought with Martine, I just would maybe just pose the question on kind of where are you hiring? You're specific to our print and marketing organizations. We've got a few other organizations beyond that, but would love to hear a little bit more about where your organization is hiring and what you're looking for. You know, what type of skills?
So in terms of, you mean in terms of sites?
Yeah,
or
just location. I
locations?
think
Yes.
just from, just an overall where you are, what locations,
So if you
countries.
if you think about the U.S., our major sites are in Vancouver, in Corvallis, in Houston, in Palo Alto, in San Diego.
Fort Collins.
Fort Collins,
Yes.
for our personal systems business. We also have, for the graphics, we have Alpharetta, Georgia, as well.
Yep.
Those are primarily the bigger sites. And one of the things, I'll make a comment, I know other companies have been promoting different type of work environments. We value a lot the fact that we have some major sites where we may have like 1,000, 1,000, 2,000, maybe 3,000 employees in one major campus. We value a lot the interaction and the collaboration. It's part of our it's part of our values. We promote that collaboration and that working environment because we believe that that's where the creativity and the innovation happens. What are we looking for? I think as I think about, you were asking, Nan, about the recommendations, and me as a student, I did both my bachelor and my master's degree. I come from Argentina, so I did both my bachelor and master's degree in Argentina, and at the time, it was not that common that people would travel and would do other, semesters, in other places. That is something that probably it's like an add-on. Probably I would have done that at the time. I did it in my working experience. But the reason for mentioning this is because we are looking at diversity. We value diversity, and not from the traditional way of diversity, but we value the diversity of thinking. Of people bringing new ideas and ways of looking at the same problem from different angles. So Santi mentioned, yes, we are hiring engineers in many of these sites. We are looking for innovation, for product management and product development expertise. But I think there are some important skills that we are also looking at when we hire. Right. Which is diversity in thinking. We're also looking at people that are willing to take risk, that are willing to bring issues to the table and openly discuss about how we can find different ways to solve the problem. Even challenging the most senior fellows and experienced engineers that we have in the company. We value in our culture, we usually use the open door policy, which is something that basically there's no, we try to remove the barriers of the hierarchies and make sure that when we are in a room and we are working in a problem, every opinion counts, and everyone has the opportunity to voice and share what they are thinking and how they can contribute to drive the business forward. So I'm trying to give you some real tangible examples of the type of people and the type of experiences and thinking that we're trying to bring and hire, whether it's through an internship or whether it's through a permanent job.
Great.
Let me add that he mentioned a lot of the US sites, but we are a very global business. HP is a very global company, and actually a lot of the innovation, engineering going on, it's outside the US too. So as he said, in the US, we are in Vancouver, Washington, in Corvallis, in Boise, in San Diego, in Palo Alto. But outside the US, we have great engineering sites in Barcelona, is where I grew up, by the way, in that HP site there. but we have them in Asia, in Singapore, in Shanghai, in Bangalore in India. So these are sites where we do true R&D, through development, are not only like it's high-level jobs being done truly as a global company. So it's part of the career development. It's have opportunities to go and work in different places. Many of us are the result of that experience, growing in one side, but having the chance to move to other places and have a career by working in many different environments.
Yeah, great. So I want to open it up to the audience. Do we? Oh, good. Well, we've got a hand up. We've got our first hand up. So go ahead and why don't you tell us your name and what year you're in and what you're studying?
I'm Greg, third year software engineering. For a lot of us, printer's kind of an investment, and how it ages is a big factor in our purchasing decisions. How do you plan to continue to support your older products, especially going forward, maybe 10, 15 years after the split? Like,
on printing, we have a very strong reputation of supporting products using a lot of the old systems, right? So using always like having drivers still for the old Windows version and so on. So we know average of a printer life in consumer is maybe 3-4 years. Some of them get to 6-7, but average is 3 to 4. In the office, a bit more. And actually, I think our brand quality has the reputation of having these products lasting for a long, long time, and we are proud of it. Our intent is to sell printers and sell consumables with that printers, so we'll keep supporting this. So the split that you mentioned, it's independent of this. We've been printing as a business for a long time as part of the big HP before, now as part of HP, and we'll continue to support and we have good printers, good quality printers. And we do a lot of investment on software to keep, in spite of the changes that are going in that world, that are a lot of changes, we keep supporting products because we want printers that customers that bought that printer time ago, they can still print. Thank you.
Thank you. I think because you asked the first question, what we're going to do is we're going to give you an HP Roar, which is one of our speakers that you can hook up, and absolutely, it's portable. I'm going to have Marcella give that to you. Thank you. You were the brave person to go with the first question. Woo! Let's give a round of applause. There we go. Little did you know.
We reward the braves, right?
No, what'd you say?
We reward the braves.
We reward the braves. There you go. Thank you. Oh, no. Oh, whoa. Okay. I don't have prizes for everyone. Okay. All right. Yes, go ahead. And then just your name and what you're studying in the year.
I'm a freshman. My name is Leonel Orozco. I'm electrical engineering. And I wanted to ask, with diminishing 3D printing prices, when do you think is going to be the perfect time to go into the into a consumer-based product for 3D printings, and what price range do you think would be perfect for that?
Okay, I mean, today, you know, they are...
$1 million question.
No, actually, it's a great question. And today, you know, we have devices in the industry that are sold at $500, and you go to the Home Depot, and today are used more for...
UPS store. You go to a UPS store and you get...
Exactly, for hobbyists and so on. So I think you have today available technology to do it even cheaper than this, right? The issue is that to make it mainstream, we need to solve a few things, right? That is, at the end, 3D, as you know, guys, is about materials, right? Which materials you use, and if you move away of using ABS plastic and taking 6 hours to print a part, that's the issue today. That's why today it's in the hands of... So I would say 2 things need to happen. The first one is that the technology innovation we are bringing now on the higher side, that brings 10x better speed, 10x better quality, material versatility, will apply first in that higher end part. These are printers today will be sold at $150,000, right? We'll bring them to 40, to 30, and 20. And as any other industry, we'll bring these things down, but we'll take time. That's one way to look at this. The second one, I think, to look at what's going to be the killer app at home that will make people to say, okay, I need it, right? And that's maybe where today still outside the hobbies or the toys and the figurines. There is no like a huge kind of application to say, wow, if someone brings now a 3D at home, it would explode. You could think one day you'll print your own keys and you'll print your own furniture and things like this, but that's probably, I would say it's 10 years ahead. I'll see 3D on prototyping as it is today. You'll see 3D in manufacturing, in what we call democratizing manufacturing. Everyone can manufacture in their garage. At home, at a price that is $300 and does everything you need, I think I put it like a 10-year type of horizon.
Great question. We have one up here, I think, from the group you were speaking with earlier. So 1 second, and just your name, your year, what you're studying.
My name is Mohammed. I'm third year Industrial and Systems Engineering. So I have a question about the sprocket. So it's inkless, and I want to know how do you guys get the vivid images from that thing?
Okay, that's it's done in partnership with a company called Zinc Media. It comes from the heritage of Polaroid, and the whole color maps, everything, all the ink is already in the media. So what you do with the technology is like the technology, what it has is enable that color to show up in the media. So it's like inkless. So all the colors are in that in the media.
So it's all about the paper.
Think about Polaroid times, right? So that's why you don't need to have ink supplies. You just buy media and it prints.
Question. Okay. Maybe we'll go to this side of the room over here. I've got 3 sprockets in a row, or should I just give them to them? Yeah.
Hello, my name is Juan. Currently I'm my 3rd year, and my major is computer engineering. So you're mentioning you guys are from different countries outside the United States. What are the biggest challenges you guys face being kind of like outsiders when you guys came in, working into the United States companies?
So how was it for you? Obviously, I'm from the U.S. I've lived abroad, but I'm from the U.S., so I probably leave it to you guys to, what was the question is, what was your experience coming to work in the U.S.? How did you integrate, and what was the biggest shock?
So for me, I would say, so this is the second time, I've been in the US 2 times, and I've worked in Brazil as well. And for those that understand a little bit of soccer, being an Argentinian in Brazil was probably a bigger challenge than coming to the US. But I think the challenge, I would say it's not in the working environment. I think I've been very lucky in the different career changes that I made. So Santi mentioned that he worked for over 20 years in HP. I've been with HP 7, and before that I worked for 2 other global companies. And with one, I had this opportunity to move abroad 2 times, one to Brazil and one to the US, and then I repeated my story with HP. I would say that the working environment really goes with the culture of the company. So I wouldn't say that I didn't experience challenges in coming into the work environment at HP in the US. It wasn't different than the culture and the experience that I had in Brazil or Argentina. I would say the difference is really more on the personal side, where you are adjusting to a new culture, a new way of socializing, a new way of interacting. I think that probably the one challenge that I would call out is when you come from emerging markets, and you live in emerging markets, and you come to a country that is more of a mature market, that's something that you experience that eventually is different. And I'm making this distinction because we also internally talk about our talent and what they bring when they come from emerging markets into mature markets, or when we relocate people from mature markets into emerging markets. There's something around how you live and work, and probably how you live more than how you work, that is a different experience, and probably that's something that I've experienced and learned over time on how to adjust to, to a social living that is a little bit different. And to be very specific, when you live in an emerging market, you build a resiliency and an ability to adapt to changes much faster than when you come in a more of a mature market where changes do not happen as fast. And usually some of those changes, eventually you don't vote for. And I don't want to get into politics because we are getting very close. But and it's interesting because some of the debates, and I don't vote yet. I'm not a U.S. citizen, so I don't have that privilege. But I was kind of feeling through the debates that some of the debates were actually bringing me back to my former countries rather than being in a mature market in the way that the discussion was happening. So maybe that helps you also understand what I've experienced.
No, I think on my side, I would say something important when you choose a company to work for, and I think I found this in HP. There are two things that are critical. One is a global company, so you would find people from everywhere. It's not like you go and you are the strange one. And second, a company where knowledge is who runs the business. And when knowledge, people get valued, and the companies today, if you go any company in the Bay Area, is where knowledge is the one. So wherever people come from, if they know their stuff, they make their way into the company. And I think if you have these two things, global companies and knowledge base, that is not like a power stuff, very quickly you get into it. And I think HP has been offering this. That's why I would say professionally, it's been very easy. Personally, everyone moving to accounting, but professionally, global, and what I call knowledge king. Knowledge is king. If you use power games, after would become where you're from, why you say this. When you know your stuff, it works.
Great, great. I think we're at time. I see some people, first you asked a question about a sprocket, so you get a sprocket in your pocket. All right, and then I think we've got here one more sprocket there. I think I'm getting the nod that we need to wrap up. So I'm gonna leave us with one last question because I do have one sprocket remaining. And so I didn't share any stats on this. No. All right, so I'm gonna actually, Ahmed, I'm gonna let you be the one to choose. I'm gonna ask the question. So you gotta put no, you can't, Marcella. So the final thing I'm gonna say, and I didn't share this stat, how many printers do you think we ship in 1 minute? So Marcella, just kind of think about it and then call on someone and just.
How many in a minute?
How many printers in a minute or in 60 seconds? I'm sorry, how many printers do we ship in a minute, 60 seconds?
How many do you ship a day?
Okay.
Make a guess.
I'm going to say 1,200.
No? Okay. I think, nope, lower, because it's in a minute. We ship individually. So, here we go. Oh.
1,500. Wait. Did
how
you
many?
say 1,500? 1,000.
Nope, a little lower. Okay. Whoa, I didn't realize this. Okay. There we go. Didn't know it'd be a challenge. Okay.
200?
Less. I'm giving it warmer. See, this is helping if you're at the end.
150?
Lower. Oops. Wait, who just said that? You win. There we go. You win. 1 ships per second. So 60 in a minute. All right, so with that, it was our pleasure to be here today to share with you about HP. Thank you to Santi and Martine. Thank you.